What's up, guys? Hades here. So this is week 8 IB League. This is a come build with me. It's going to be more casual, not so formal. I'm going to walk you through my frame of mind when I'm making these teams, and you can follow along. You can copy these. Hopefully you learn a little something about why I'm doing this, and hopefully you can have some better teams in the next coming weeks or in the future seasons. So my teams are in complete disarray. I haven't looked at it in 2 weeks. I've totally been on vacation, not on the game. But the first thing I'm noticing is just a lack of auras. I only have one. I'm missing something. I've got gaps everywhere. Let's fill them in. Let's make this right. I have 100 extra points to go through. What I'm thinking about is adding one more aura and maxing out Fighting Master. Now, the reason I want to max this out is your main March at this stage of the game is just going to crush everyone. So you want to have your main March as strong as possible. Then you want to fill in the rest of the teams. Now, I already have weakness. It's going to help increase my crit rate on the enemy. I think a lot of people are using this, so I want to have Malice. And I'm pretty sure I haven't leveled it up at all. So what do I remove for Malice, right? Well, first thing I think of is either Defense Blessing or War Blessing or Oak Guard. Most people are using Mages, Wu, or Merlin, so Resist is going to be higher priority. Now, which one is actually better? You know, you'd have to do hundreds of tests. Instinctively, I want to remove Oak Guard. But these are also kind of redundant, so I can kind of remove either one. And because I have Resist and Oak, I could also probably just remove Defense Blessing. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to remove Defense Blessing. And I'm going to add Malice because I like Malice. I think it's a fantastic thing. Now, the very natural thing to do is then replace Defense Blessing into the next team, right? Now I have this gap to fill, and I'm going to fill it with... Oh, I already have an aura. I'm going to go down here, and I'm going to find something that's going to match the team decent. Either one of these is going to be fine. You don't really have a lot of options. I do like blessings on a second team. So let's go fill in those skills because that's going to be important, and it's going to let us know how much extra we have to work with as we move forward. So I do want to increase Fighting Master to the max. It's going to make my con a little more tanky, which I like. And I'm going to add that Malice. Now the next phase is, what do I do with those remaining points? Well, let's ask yourself this. What needs to be done in the second marches, right? Now, who is here doesn't matter. We could talk about this team. I can move these skills on a wind. It doesn't really matter. But of these 4 characters, who's going to carry a fight? The answer is Cleopatra, okay? If I'm going to level them up, I'm going to level up these 3 skills. I'm going to level up Nova's and Heavenly Thunder, or I'm going to give her Rage, or I'm going to do something like that, right? I'm going to level up the damage skills. Or I could throw them all on the Baldwin and throw them all here. Either way, I want the damage skills. Could also do it on Merlin. Doesn't really matter. But I think Novas at this stage are going to be the most powerful. So that's what I'm going to do now. Level up those Novas because they're going to give us a ton of value. Now you might think the team I'm using is kind of weird, right? You're like, that doesn't make a lot of sense. I'll explain why I'm using this type of team. You know, I'm actually going to change it to Chase. I think these have high activations for Chase, so we're actually going to swap it there. Now, why this setup? Well, first of all, I can't use Khan in the Cleo spot because he's here, right? But I want the Thunder Dragon because in this game mode, remember, we only have 11,000 troops and they're tier 5. But we have maxed out dragons. So it's going to do 900,000 damage, which is extremely high. And so is this dragon, right? 800,000 plus the 300 twice. That's why I use it second. I'm not trying to win. I'm trying to get dragon damage plus Cleo damage and her skill. Boom, I'm getting value. And then you can fill these all in with random stuff that like kind of makes sense, right? Excuse me, you're not going to want that on him, but you're going to want it on someone like Merlin. I'm not going to bore you with all that stuff, but let's go to the next formation because we want to have the ability to swap as we play, right? So same thing here, remove the defense blessing, put on the malice. And then in this setup, I made this like week 1 or week 2. I don't actually want Cleo, right? I want Khan. Why wouldn't I want Khan? But then you have to go, oh, well, that doesn't actually make sense because I already leveled up all the mage skills. So what I can pivot to is just go, boom. Well, let's just go with this, right? Why not? There's no reason I can't just have all my skills on an actual carry that's going to use them well. And now I just treat this, you know, quote unquote third march like my second. They're both going to do moderate damage. I'm going to throw on a few skills for Khan. Treat him more like a support. Get that ult off a little quicker with Adrenaline Rush. What else can I get? Nice little meteor here. Little extra damage. Geralt's fine. I'm going to switch the aura for sacrifice because that's going to be a little bit better. And then a little blessing, right? And bam. Now I have 3 legit marches ready to go for week 8. And then my final team, the Merlin team. This one's going to be also similar. I need to replace that defense blessing with malice. And everything looks pretty good here. I've got nice mage skills. I could, of course, do that swap again. Or I can keep it a little creative, keep a little diversity, have my defense blessing, get my Novas here, and then go... No, I can't do auras there. Like that. Boom. Now we're ready. Now you could fidget with your 3rd and 4th all you want. Make sure you actually add skills because it will be more valuable. Like having level 1 misleading is going to be better than nothing, right? And you probably want to put it on the support, but is it going to matter? No. These 2nd or 3rd and 4th versus the mains with max skills are going to do nothing or almost nothing. So it kind of doesn't matter. The only time it actually matters is when it's a 3rd versus a 3rd or a 3rd versus a 4th or a 4th versus a 4th, right? Then it might make a small difference. And if you want to spend the time doing those, you absolutely can. But don't put a ton of effort into it. There's pre-built things like this on my channel. Hopefully you guys have found these already. If you haven't, this is kind of the free and easy way to get there. You have all the setups you could need. I went into detail why the full fire, why the con fire, and why the Merlin. If you haven't watched that one, go watch that one after you watch this. Make sure you update your skills so we can have fun competitive matches to play the best event in the game, IB. And if you guys like these kind of videos, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.